stand for opening? Heavenly Father, Yahweh, we thank you for another beautiful day you've given us, Father. Yahweh, we thank you for your love for us, Father. I just pray that as the speaker comes up today, Father, that you would open our hearts to your word, Father, and Father, that you would give Eric wisdom and discernment as he speaks today, Father. I thank you for all the love that you've given us in this group. And Father, we praise you and worship you and thank you for the truth and the breath of life. Just be with us now and bless us and bless this time and keep us safe. In the name of Yeshua, I pray. Amen.
The only announcements I have, Eric is going to give a presentation to the youth. Beginning with, be a short presentation, and then we're going to get set up for Sharon Thomas's presentation for our trip to Kenya. And we'll probably have maybe a 5 or 10 minute break between the two, so if you need to run and take care of anything, it'll be fine. And we'll give you a time to be back. And Sharon, I believe it took about an hour and a half, maybe, wasn't it, that we did down at North Carolina?
I can shorten it, you know, whatever.
Okay, well, you know, I don't know if anybody's got anything important to do. So. But anyway, and then Don should be here at 2:30. We'll be here at 2:30 anyway. And Don's on the way back. I don't know whether he's arrived at the airport yet or not. But we'll have the afternoon service at 2:30. Okay, please rise. We'll have sing a few hymns this morning. We'll begin with number 17. Is that right?
His Spirit filling everyone. Can you
To the end of every day, praise
pray, we'll begin now. Eric Schreiner will give his message to the youth.
Shalom. Chag Sameach. It's great to be here with all of you in the city of our great King, in the city of Yerushalayim. Before I start the message, which is entitled, "You were born to be a priest and king," I would first like to mention my position in the congregation of Yahweh, Yahweh's congregation headquartered here in Jerusalem. I've been appointed as the youth leader of Yahweh's congregation, and for some of you that have attended the Bible school, the Yahayachad Bible School, you will remember that Don gave us an assignment that would help us be more efficient and effective as disciples of Yeshua. He gave us an assignment that required for us to devise a specific purpose statement, an SPS, and then a plan of action to go along to carry out that specific purpose statement. Well, as youth leader, my specific purpose statement is to bring up the youth, to give our youth hope for the future, and also to prepare them and train them to be leaders in Yahweh's soon coming kingdom. So the message, and that's basically what the message is going to be about today. So for all of the youth here today, my question is to you, do you know that Yahweh wants you to be priests and kings in Yahweh's kingdom? And do you know what it takes to be a priest and king? Yahweh has set you as the apple of his eye, and you are very, very special to him. He even said to the disciples when they were rebuking the children, as the children were coming to Yeshua and he was going to pray for them, he said in Matthew 19:14, "Allow the children, and do not hinder the children from coming to me, for such is the kingdom of heaven." Do you know that priests at birth, from birth, they were trained to be priests, and even sons of kings in the house of kings. They would train them at a very early age in how to walk and how to act and how to be like a king. Well, Yahweh has given us that blueprint through his son Yeshua. And he wants all of us to be priests and kings. Because in reality, this world is not real. This is not the reality that Yahweh, or what Yahweh wants for his sons and daughters. And it's going to be passing away very, very soon. And whether it's a few years or 2 decades, we need to be preparing and aspiring to be priests and kings, to achieve the highest calling of Yeshua HaMashiach. And the gift that he's given to each and every one of you, you are very special, a chosen priesthood, a treasure out of all the nations of the earth, he has chosen you. And do you know, and myself included, a lot of us older adults and even believers that are older than me would give anything to be in your shoes right now at such an early age. How awesome, a privilege, and a gift that Yahweh has given you to have parents that are following in the ways of Yahweh. It's unbelievable what Yahweh can do with you. But you got to make that decision. And to be a priest and king, you have to have a relationship with our Heavenly Father. And that relationship comes with spending a lot of time with him in prayer and in his word. And actually, David's not here, but we, as youth leaders, we gave the youth this past week a goal that they would pray every morning when they woke up, and also before they went to bed. and at least read the scriptures once a day. So how did you guys do? And I challenge you now. I challenge you now to make that decision, to make that next step. Some of you have been baptized, some of you haven't, but Yahweh wants a relationship with each and every one of you. And do you know, and I'm sure some of you have best friends, so you can empathize with me and with all of us, that as you would spend much time and effort with your best friend, that's what Yahweh wants with you, each and every one of you. The same attention that you would give your best friend, the same longing that you would have for that best friend, Yahweh wants to have with you. And the reward, I can't in words describe what the words are. We can only imagine what Yahweh has prepared for us. The reward is so great. It says, Yahweh says in Psalms 19, 10 and 11, He says about His commandments, about serving Him, He says, they are to be more desired than fine gold. Yes, much fine gold. And sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb. And moreover, your servant is warned by them, that in keeping of them there is great reward. There is a great reward awaiting each and every one of you if you would make that decision today, while it is still called today. Yahweh wants you. But do you know what the world says about you? Do you know? They call you Generation X because they don't see any hope in you. They look at today's youth and they see that it's full of wickedness and evil. That another generation can't go any longer. Even some of us believers can't imagine how the earth will continue. You can imagine Sodom and Gomorrah. You can imagine the days of Noah. Well, we know it's way, way worse than that right now. But do you know something? We're coming full circle again. Because you know the parents of the sons of Israel? Do you know what they said to Moses? Do you know what they said to Yahweh? Well, while they were in the wilderness? How can we go into the promised land? There are giants there. They're going to take our children. They're going to take them for a prey. We cannot go in there. What about our children? What are we going to do? But you know what Yahweh did? He performed one of the greatest miracles ever. That second generation, the younger generation, that saw everything and were born and raised in the wilderness, they were the ones that went into the promised land. They went. And you know, I believe Yahweh is going to do that again. Where even in Yahweh's congregation now, there are so few of you. So very few. What's happened? How can that be? Satan has been working very, very hard. Very, very hard. And he knows, because he knows that the youth are the future. You are the future. Do you know what happened after Joshua? Do you know what happened after all the elders died that lived with Joshua in his time? Remember the time of the judges? Everyone was doing what was right in their own eyes. Not one generation left or kept the Torah after that. There was only a cycle of wickedness, of evil. One generation is all it takes. And Yahweh put so much emphasis on the children in the Torah, in raising them the right way, in training up a child in the way, in the opening of the way. Because He knows. Some of us, you know, we're getting old, and time will only tell how long we have, but if it is 20 more years, you guys will have positions in the congregation, leadership positions. And Yahweh needs you. Because if it's not for you, then who will? Also, in Luke, I want to go a little bit more over the reward. In Luke chapter 18, verses 28 through 30, Simon Peter said to Yeshua, he told him, "Behold, Master, we have forsaken everything and we have followed after you. Yeshua said to him, there is not one person who has left house, or parents, or brothers, or children, for the sake of the kingdom, and will not receive many times more in this present time, and in the world to come, everlasting life. So you know the reward is in this time, but it's also in the kingdom. And some of you may say, well, you know, the world is ending and I'm not going to be able to live my hopes and dreams. I want to have a wife or a husband. I want to be able to have children, and I want to be able to see my great-grandchildren. That's good to desire. And that's something that Yahweh will bless you with if you serve Him. That can still be a part of what your hopes and dreams. Serving Yahweh and having those dreams, they're not separate from each other. I used to believe when I was young, Yahweh showed me from a very early age that He wanted me to be in the ministry. But that was something that I feared. I thought that it would be an unfruitful life. And I had no desire to be a part of that, to be a part of anything to do with the church. And I was very afraid. And I thought also because I didn't really understand Yahweh, and I didn't have that relationship yet, and I didn't really experience that love, that once you do, you'll realize that when you delight yourself in Yahweh, like David said in Psalms 37:4, delight yourself in Yahweh, and He will give you the desires of your heart. When you delight in Him, and you serve Him with the whole heart, not just in tongue, we know that. Words, they're only so much. They only go so far. Actions, a little bit further, but yet it has to come from your heart. And that was the problem with the Pharisees. Obedience is more than just doing the actions. It has to come from your heart. It has to be love that is from a pure heart. 1 Timothy 1:5, Paul said it. The goal of every commandment is love that is from a pure heart. And you as children know, youth, teenagers, when your parent says for you to do something, you may do it, but your heart may not be there. Well, that's the same thing with us. He doesn't just want us to obey the commandments. He wants us from our heart to love Him and obey. That your parents won't even have to tell you to go do this, to go do that. But because you love them and you want to please them, you will do anything you can to help them, to give them that love. And they want that from you. Yahweh wants that from you. So that same time that you would give to your best friend, Yahweh wants you to give to Him. Also, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 2, verse 9, he says, no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and has not even come into the heart of man that which Elohim has prepared for all of those who love Him. Like I said, we can only imagine. And this life is going to pass away. Yahweh said it in the Psalms, it's as a shadow. It's as a shadow. So life really is just a test to see if we will be faithful. Just like Don said, it's just a test. So I pray that you will see the example of our elders, of our leaders, of your parents, and that you will not make the same mistakes that some of us have made, that I made. When I was in my late teens, I started to rebel. I was raised in the Christian church, in the Assemblies of God. My parents did the best that they could to bring me up, and I appreciated everything, because now I look back, and it was because of what they had done, the best that they knew in raising me up, and what they knew of Yahweh at that time, that I'm here today, through their love and prayers. So there's hope for all the youth. That we have to do all we can for the youth. We have to make that stand and take back our children. Do not allow Satan to continue to wreak havoc on them. Start praying And as personal testimony from our family, my dad was the last one. But it wasn't through shoving the Torah, shoving the commandments down his throat that brought him, but it was through prayer and love, real love, genuine love. We have to do that for our children as well. Let them see your love. People don't want to know how much you know, they want to know how much you care. And that's something I'm starting to realize now. So I pray for each and every one of the youth that you will make that stand, and I am here before you, fully convicted and assured, because I have taken Yahweh to the test, and I have found him faithful and true. I know him to be true. Fully assured, I can tell you now, you will not regret it. To have a relationship with Yahweh is the most beautiful and wonderful thing you could ever experience. And now all that love, all that joy and happiness that you desire will be there. Yahweh will give you that. Because that is the only true happiness that you can have, is following and serving him. There is nothing in this world, nothing Satan can give you that will fill that empty void in your heart. Only Yahweh. So I pray that you make that stand today. You make that decision. And that you will follow after him. That you will see the example of your elders and leaders, your parents.
Thank you, Eric. I think there are salient points for each and every one of us. We are children of Yahweh. And I was reminded of several things myself. All right, we'll have about a 10-minute break. Let's all be back at, let's make it a quarter.